For the past 37 straight days, I have been doing handstand practice every single day. So some days I've been doing more, some days less, but without fail, every day I've put in at least 5 to 30 minutes of handstand practice depending on the day. I'm aiming to do a 20-second freestanding handstand, and learning how to do a handstand has been a goal of mine for a long time. I just haven't had the opportunity to put it into like a daily routine practice, so that is something I've been doing during lockdown. For this video, I'm just going to play some practice clips throughout the last 37 days, and I'm just going to talk over them just to talk about the journey I've been on, some of the things that I've been learning, and the progress that I've made, and hopefully those tips and those things that I've learned can be beneficial for you guys as well. I am nowhere close to my goal of hitting a 20-second freestanding handstand, but it's getting there. It's getting there. The progress is being made, so let's jump into it. Day 1, this is my warm-up routine that I was doing at the start, and I found it on a channel called Saturnal Movement, where he's got this daily handstand routine. So I kind of moved away from that since then, but at the beginning that's what I was doing. So just warming up my wrists to try avoid any wrist injuries there. And here I'm starting off with some practice against the wall, and even at the start, day 1, I could do handstands against the wall, but that's not saying a whole lot because you can just kind of lean against it and it doesn't take a whole lot of skill. After this, I move into freestanding handstands, but oh my goodness, over there I meant to roll forward to kind of get out of the handstand, but my dog was in the way, so I had to just like crush my neck instead. So thankfully I didn't get injured there. And this is how I was, just trying to practice some freestanding ones in the middle of my living room, and you can see I completely could not find any balance or stability at all. Finishing up that day with some hamstring stretching, and you can just see how cute my dog is. So I could never get angry at her, even though I almost crushed my neck before. Day 5, moved the practice outdoors, which is where I've actually done the majority of my handstand practice since then. And here I discovered something called a scissor leg hold, whatever, where you can kind of split your legs instead of keeping them side by side, and that just gives you an extra tool to be able to try find balance when you're upside down. And as you can see, it was not really helping me, so I held it for maybe like a second, under 2 seconds just then. Day 8, and I found a guy called Chris Harrier on YouTube, and he's this beast calisthenics guy, and he was talking about how he thinks you should get 20 seconds against the wall, kind of off the wall, before you move into freestanding handstands. So then this kind of gave me a bit of motivation to train more against the wall, and for the next, I think pretty much week or two, I didn't go into the freestanding handstand practice. I just stayed against the wall and tried to get as long as holds as I could off the wall. Around this time, I also watched this video from the Tap Brothers, and they talk about how you should put your weight behind your knuckles and not your palm, if that makes sense. So when I put my weight behind my knuckles, it means that I have space from my fingers and my palm to kind of balance. So that was another valuable lesson that I learned along the way. And so now I had my scissor kick to try balance at the top, and I also had more control at my palms to try balance, but I was still missing just that awareness of where my hips were relative to my shoulder and my overall body when I was upside down. Day 22, and here I'm doing some super extremely Gumby cartwheels, and the purpose of this is to practice falling out of a freestanding handstand. So I found a guy called Tom Merrick on YouTube, and he teaches how to fall out of a freestanding handstand to the side, which is something that I knew I needed to learn if I wanted to move on to practicing freestanding handstands. The whole idea is when you feel your weight going too far forward, previously I just kind of gone into a roll and then fallen forwards, but for this one you shift the weight on your one of your hands, and then it forces you to fall sideways instead, and that way you can land on your feet. So that was a very, very valuable skill that I managed to pick up. Over here, I am practicing what I call butt against wall handstands. So the goal of these is to really challenge my shoulder mobility and to increase my shoulder mobility so that I can eventually get to a straight line handstand, which will be very helpful for me, I believe, in getting a freestanding handstand. And jump 10 days to day 37, which is the day that this video was recorded, and I'm still practicing these butt handstands. And you can see what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to slowly bring the feet forward so I can get into that position where I'm not just arched over, where my core is engaged. And that's ultimately what I'm trying to do, is engage that core, because it's quite hard to do when I'm upside down. So I definitely have felt, you know, more sensitivity and more control as I've been practicing every day, but the progress has been slow. Over here, I think this is probably my best handstand yet. If you count the seconds, it ends up being around 8 seconds off the wall. So that is, I'm pretty happy with that. And after the kind of against the wall warm up, I moved into my freestanding handstands, and you can see that I'm able to fall kind of safely, but that's about it. You know, I'm not really holding myself up for very long at all. So yeah, going forward, I'm gonna just keep up the daily practice. I'm gonna keep increasing my shoulder mobility, opening up the shoulders as it's called in the handstand world. Increase that forearm strength, because the forearms have been really kind of quite sore, I think, just from activating them so much, and really trying to engage my core as well to achieve that hollow body position as I keep practicing. So stay tuned, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.